Is this all
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
left?
Hazard just does
The
a
damaged
lot
spay engines,
of
it
stuff
was obvious that some
that are
pieces
just
are missing.
similar to plane
The
crashes.
big fragments
It's
that became
kind of from the
small
comment got the same as
fragments
saying
after
like
tearing
meaningless
themselves
brain rot
apart
like
inside
things.
the engine.
He simply just
The
does
only
it.
way to recover those parts is
He
to
doesn't
get
do it
out
for like
there
the money or
and
whatever.
search along
He
its
does it
path.
specifically because he
Investigators
probably
must
likes
find
doing
the
it.
missing parts, which now lie somewhere in farmlands. They use the flight data recorder to map the plane's journey and determine where the fragments may fall. After scouring through the fields along the plane's path, the team found dozens of small fragments, just only half of what's missing. Many are very badly damaged. The ice shedding violently destroyed the internals of the engines. But it was about time to clean up the mess. Retrieving the entire plane will be a painful process. They will have to find a way to get equipment out there.
The major problem here is the heavy recovery team, they can't fly it out of here. That plane's stuck on the mud. They can't leave it there either. So they have to disassemble the plane into separate pieces.
Dude manages
After the interior is cleared, crews
to
can
make
start
an entire
dismantling the plane.
hour.
It will take more than a while to complete. Then when the disassembling is done, the cut sections will be loaded onto trucks to a recycling facility.
This 111-400 is an ancient plane. The fleet would have been retired, so it would be sent to a yard to be broken up. So this would be the end of the road for the 111.
Following the airline deregulation in 1988, Flight 373A happened 2 years into deregulation. Could that have played a role?
The airline deregulation in 1988, competitive pressures, and rapid expansion had compromised safety standards and airline management practices. Assess how Transport Canada failed to properly monitor airlines as they upgraded to more modern planes, all that kind of stuff.
We knew that our airline industry deregulated in 1988.
What?
So I can see a rookie crew doing that by error, but an experienced crew, like what 373A had, was probably complacent.
That's actually a very,
It's
very
obvious
good
that pilot
thing.
error contributed to this
Nice little
accident,
detail.
but there are many factors to unravel.
To see pilot error also played a factor to this, we thought we're on top of things and a curveball comes flying past us. It's like a punch to the gut.
During the investigation, the
That went
Transportation Safety Board of Canada was formed by an act of Parliament to replace the Canadian Aviation Safety Board, or CASB, on mid-March.
Because of that, there was new people, like say, some of them either retired or new hires got brought in to join the investigation.
Because this incident happened in January and the CASB dissolves in March, the CASB would start the fieldwork, but the actual analysis and writing would be dumped onto the lap at a newly formed TSB.
Investigators consult the 111's manual to study its anti-ice system.
We also decided to check out whatever components left the salvage of the anti-ice systems from the plane.
Was the anti-ice
Gotta skin
working?
this man's throat.
And conducted a multitude of tests.
To test the operability, they'd instead used compressed air, because the engines aren't even on the plane anymore.
And we were able to conclude that the anti-ice system was in perfect working order.
The anti-icing system was working. It's already clear that the plane was just in perfect conditions. Maybe weather might play a role.
When we interviewed the air traffic controllers to see what the weather was like, we learned that while it was cloudy and mild out, de-icing wasn't really required.
The controller that last handled Flight 373A testifies that airport procedures dictated de-icing when precipitation was present around that time. But there's another question. Why did the crew fly into a cloud with supercooled liquid droplets?
I think that I recall that the radar showed nothing. But what we actually saw outside were clouds, and then ice.
So airborne ice crystals aren't detectable on radar? Ice crystals could have gotten ingested and clogged up the engines?
The clouds were completely invisible to the old weather radar used. Because the droplets are microscopic, it lacks the size and mass needed to reflect the longer wavelengths of the radar.
We didn't have a whole lot of leads, so we had to turn to the cockpit voice recorder, which was a goldmine of information to listen to. We had the crew not turning on the anti-ice equipment at the earliest opportunity,
Yes.
and everything else in between.
70,
which
80,
is
90,
really concerning.
yeah, I think that's a pattern. It's gonna we're gonna have the 797 in 2030
CVRs that got overwritten.
and the
We won't
30.
have 2 minutes either, since the CVR wasn't recording at that time.
My own basement.
Anti-icing is set.
Imagine a plane crash takes place in the 1950s. I don't know, maybe the Grand Canyon. No, not the New York.
Basically,
They're
the
claiming to
checklist
have,
mandates
like,
that
60,
stuff be
maybe
on
61.
prior to departure into icing conditions.
Positive rate.
Gears going up.
Climb out seems alright. Nothing too out of the
14.
ordinary there.
Yes!
There's ice. Do you see it? Stop right there. They're clearly discussing
an hour?
ice building. Yet we got ice building up on the captain's indicator and everywhere else. If anti-ice wasn't on already, should have been right from the get-go.
The crew mentioned about anti-ice, and they have done that checklist so many times they got complacent and forgot it was on. By the time they turn the engine anti-ice,
No, he doesn't. I don't think he
it
like.
gets chaotic.
No, Catcher didn't do that.
If the
Edwards.
engines gave any audible feedback as
Dun,
to the
dun,
ingestion of
dun,
ice,
dun,
it
dun.
would have been compressor stalls, surgeon, and whatnot.
That's the sound of the engines just tearing themselves
Drinking
apart.
motor oil.
You hear that?
Oh yeah, I did. It was made in the 2010s, no?
Good grief.
Gotta be ice sloughing off the wings and going straight into the engines. I'll tell ya.
Closing throttles back to idle.
Yeah, you need 10 RSS function. No, get Leon.
Imacall ATC.
When the plane's power gets cut, that means the CVR will stop recording until the power comes back on.
And this is where the CVR cuts out for approximately 2.5 minutes.
During that outage, we don't even know what other crew was doing that time since the CVR was cut along the power.
And
But
who's
that
Gwen?
missing 2-minute gap is where we wish we had the most available data.
We're back online.
Good. But we're gonna have to do an emergency landing.
We can't continue to Thunder Bay like this. That's the plan.
The good part is that the power is restored, but they don't got engines, and they have to find a way to land immediately.
Stop turning! Stop turning! We're gonna stall! Got it. Whew, that
Could have been worse. We're all.
They're clearly boxed into a corner here. They're at roughly 17,000 feet. You might think they can turn back to Toronto, but that's easily 3,000 feet lost just turning around. No way they'd make it back. Can't make it to Kitchener, Brampton, or anywhere else.
No
Roblox
airports within
Studio.
reach. Brampton.
Brampton was our missed
Technically, it is a
opportunity.
game.
So our best bet is
Yeah,
to put it
Roblox
down a
Studio
field
is
somewhere.
technically a game, is it not?
Fields it is.
They basically got no options. They literally got to land on a field, is what they got left.
Just keep going straight.
What? A Blender? Oh,
Gotta
Blender
give
must have
them
been where the
props.
aircraft
They're having a
and things
hell of
were
a
at.
time flying her in that state.
I hope we can make it, Robert. That one, over there. That's Spruce Greens.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they picked out that field just to the east of Conestoga Lake.
We're landing there now.
That landing spot is determined, and they're going for it now. Not knowing its actual conditions, whether it's bumpy, smooth, they just don't know that field. It's just big. It'll work.
Land 'em, boy.
Pan International Flight. That was a game that they made.
And they're
Culture Crush Studio. The Big Planes Simulator. No joke.
Robert, I think we did it.
And that was a flight crew that made a series of mistakes, but ended up making the best of it.
Now you get the
Now that we
pirated
knew that
one.
the anti-ice system was actually off instead on, we then had to look into specifically why the anti-ice system was off. We could not believe the pilots would